Coming up on Cronkite News, it's been 5 months since Arizona sent the first bus of migrants and asylum seekers to Washington, D.C. We'll show you how the area is handling the influx.
Plus, Hurricane Ian made landfall today as a strong Category 4 storm. More on the storm's path, the damage, and the local travel impacts.
And a new poll out today shows a tighter than ever race for Arizona governor. We'll take a look at those numbers coming up.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Maddie Freeze.
And I'm Ryan Tismaneski. Thank you for joining us. It's been 5 months since Arizona sent the first bus of migrants and asylum seekers to Washington, D.C. Cronkite News reporter John Brown has more from our Washington bureau on how D.C. is handling the influx.
The buses of migrants come here to Washington's Union Station from Yuma. They can arrive anytime between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. And the advocates who meet them here don't always get an advanced warning. But advocates, mostly volunteers and religious groups, are determined to do what they can.
They are normally transported to one of these participating churches, and when they get there, they will have food, they'll have a table full of different clothes, shoes, and the like, toiletries.
According to Arizona Governor Doug Ducey's office, 1,957 migrants on 55 buses have been sent to Washington since May 9th. Over half of the migrants are from Colombia, followed by Peru and Venezuela. They are all ages and genders.
They're sending newborns. We've had 2 babies, 23-day-old babies, coming on the journey with the buses.
That's on top of the buses from Texas, which came up with the idea of busing migrants from the border. It has sent 7,900 migrants since April.
The reason behind the policy is ultimately political and ultimately situates asylum seekers as pawns in a political game, and that is clearly not something we support.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser declared a public emergency in response to the influx. And the city this month created an Office of Migrant Services to cope.
It also allows us to make sure that our homeless services system and our system to create affordable housing isn't broken down by this crisis that we didn't create.
It's not just D.C. Texas has sent buses to New York and Chicago and recently started dropping migrants outside Vice President Kamala Harris's residence here. And Florida made headlines when it flew migrants to Martha's Vineyard. The governors say they started the program to give sanctuary cities a taste of what border towns face. But Laborde of the humanitarian group SAMU said that's lost in the debate is the fact that people are being affected.
You want them out of their state, do it. But do it in a way that you're respecting their basic rights and needs and not just treating them as a political object.
D.C. city officials say $10 million will go to the Office of Migrant Services to help migrants and asylum seekers sent by Arizona and Texas. In Washington, John Brown, Cronkite News.
Tomorrow, the Uncaged and Reunite Families Coalition and LULAC of Arizona will hold a press conference to call out Governor Ducey for sending migrants and asylum seekers across state lines.
Hurricane Ian made landfall this afternoon on Florida's western coast. Cronkite News reporter Alexia Stanbridge is in the newsroom with more on how the storm is impacting travel here in the valley.
The hurricane is responsible for the cancellations across the country, including here at Sky Harbor International Airport, where several flights were canceled as a safety measure. Earlier, the airport was calm, but this afternoon, the airport canceled almost 10 flights and delayed almost 50. Heather Shellbrack, a spokesperson for Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, says to expect some cancellations and delays if your flight is connecting through or going to Florida. Shellbrack suggests patience and staying up to date on your flight.
We do recommend that travelers check their flight status with the airline just to make sure that if they had a connecting flight that was originating or connecting through one of those airports, it may be delayed or canceled. And reach out to your airline because they have hurricane travel policies, storm travel policies, where they'll allow you to switch your flight or cancel it depending on what the situation is.
A recent check of Tucson International Airport shows a few delays, but no cancellations. In the newsroom, Alexia Stanbridge, Cronkite News.
Rain from Hurricane Ian is projected to cause flooding throughout much of western and central Florida. Peyton Major joins us from the Cronkite News Weather Center with details on the storm's damage and where it's headed.
Hurricane Ian made landfall this morning as a Category 4 hurricane, and already hundreds of thousands of people are without power. Zooming in, so again, it made landfall as a Category 4. Winds were at 155 miles an hour, just short of a Category 5, actually. It's tracking northeast, and one thing we look for here is the storm surge. The storm surge is especially dangerous. It's the amount of water that's moving onto shore very rapidly, similar to a tsunami. You could see, especially just south of Tampa and Charlotte Harbor area, they'll see an 18-foot storm surge today, and that can be especially dangerous. You could actually see this video right here, just how dangerous the storm surge can be. It's moving onto shore. It can easily flood homes and impact anything that's close to the beach area. And these storm surges are really what is actually deadly in hurricanes here. Now we're going to look at the radar of Hurricane Ian here. You can see that the eye is actually already starting to close in. That means the storm is weakening, but it's going to move northeast. Actually, as soon as tonight, it'll be a Category 3. So it's already weakening, and then it'll move through Orlando tomorrow, already not being a hurricane anymore. So it's going to rapidly decrease in strength tonight, and then it'll move into the Atlantic briefly and then move into Georgia and South Carolina by Friday and into Saturday. That's all I have for Ian, but coming up, I'll tell you more on your Arizona forecast.
The White House has promised emergency help to Florida and the latest efforts to prevent a government shutdown. Haley Smilo has those stories and more from our Washington bureau.
President Joe Biden spoke with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ahead of Hurricane Ian's landfall.
And my message has been absolutely clear, is that we are on the alert and in action. We've approved every request Florida has made for temporary assistance, emergency assistance, long-term assistance that I've received.
Biden said that yesterday's call was a discussion of the government's preparations for the hurricane, including the dispatch of hundreds of FEMA personnel and thousands of National Guard members, and the deployment of a search and rescue team. President Biden also had calls with the mayors of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater. The Senate voted yesterday for a stopgap bill that would keep the government funded through December 16th. Lawmakers worked to avoid a shutdown at the end of this week as their funding expires Friday at midnight. Earlier, the vote was in jeopardy due to pushback from both Democrats and Republicans. But neither party wants to be blamed for a shutdown as we approach the midterm elections. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin agreed to drop his reform proposal in order for the bill to pass. The Senate will need to hold a final passage vote, and the timing for that is still to be determined. We now have an estimate for just how much the federal student loan forgiveness plan will cost. The Congressional Budget Office released a new report estimating the plan will cost the government $400 billion over the course of 30 years. President Joe Biden's plan forgives $10,000 in federal student loans for people who earn less than $125,000. People who have received federal Pell Grants are eligible for up to $20,000 in debt forgiveness. The Congress Budget Office says it estimates is highly uncertain because it relies on a number of assumptions and projections which depend on the future economic conditions. The White House is expected to release its own estimate of the cost in the coming weeks. The Biden administration previously said the plan would reduce cash flow by about $24 billion in the first year. That's the latest in Washington. I'm Haley Smilo. Back to you.
A new poll out today shows that the Arizona's governor race is nearly tied. Democrat Katie Hobbs and Republican Kari Lake are both fighting for spots in November's general election. Take a look at this. The graph was put together by 538. It averages all recent polling for voters' governor preference. As you can see, votes in favor of Hobbs are decreasing while those in favor of Lake are increasing. The numbers come together at the closest point in today's poll, sitting at 0.8% in difference. That survey was conducted by the Arizona Republic and Suffolk University. While Katie Hobbs has refused to participate in a gubernatorial debate against Kari Lake, they're both set to speak at a town hall this coming Monday.
Still ahead on Cronkite News, Arizona is home to two places that are perfect for watching the night sky. After the break, we'll take you to one of the darkest places in Arizona to see just what makes it one of the best places to see the stars.
And a popular car is being recalled due to a fire risk. We'll let you know what it is and what to do after the break.
Know what I'm saying? try to stay out of trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work.
It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
Arizona is home to a variety of stargazing opportunities, thanks to the dark skies in more rural sections of the state. Cronkite News reporter Isabella Fredrickson takes us to one of the 2 international dark sky parks in Arizona for more.
Oracle State Park is one of the darkest places in the state. Here, it seems as if the stars shine brighter than any place else in Arizona. This is because it's an international dark sky park, which means that there's an exceptional starry night and nocturnal environment. Because of these factors, the park makes for the perfect place to stargaze and host an annual star party.
This community is so bought into because they love their dark sky heritage. There's people who have lived here in this beautiful community since the 50s or the 40s. They're living in their parents' house, they're living in their grandparents' house. They know what the sky used to look like. They want it to stay that way.
At the edge of this canyon, dozens of telescopes are all set up, waiting for the sun to finally go down. Many of these telescopes are taller than me, including this one, which stands at over 8 feet tall. If you're going to want to look into this one, you're going to need to use a ladder. Participants can expect to see things in the sky that they've never seen before.
They're seeing Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter's 400 million miles away. Saturn's almost 1 billion miles away. It's 900 million miles away.
Brian Harris, an owner of one of these huge telescopes, comes to Oracle State Park often to look at his favorite things in the night sky.
I love looking at nebula and galaxies and star clusters. Those are the things I like looking at in mine. We'll have a couple planets up tonight, so that'll be good.
This 4,000-acre wildlife refuge is in the perfect location for stargazing. Located behind a mountain that blocks light from Tucson and neighboring towns. This remote location is good for both animals and humans.
Wildlife do certain things at night. If we have a lot of light out, they think it's still daytime.
Even if you are not near one of the 2 international dark sky parks in Arizona, there are other dark sky areas where you too can gaze up at the night sky. In Oracle, Isabella Fredrickson, Cronkite News.
Another reason area residents are so protective of their dark sky is its huge economic benefit. This star party brings star lovers and astronomers from as far as Canada.
A heads up for all Kia owners. Some of their models are being recalled for a possible fire risk. About 70,000 cars are being affected. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration is warning against Sorento and Sportage SUVs from 2016 through 2023. Officials say some of those vehicles have a faulty tow hitch that could start a fire. 3 fires have been reported so far, but no injuries or death. Kia says it will contact owners of all affected cars, and you're urged to park outside until the problem is fixed.
We saw triple-digit temps throughout the valley, but there is some relief in sight. Peyton Major is back in the Cronkite News Weather Center with more on the cooler temps ahead.
Yes, we have been trending above average, but the good news is it could be our very last triple-digit day for a while. These are the high temperatures today, 100 degrees in Phoenix and really the 90s for most of the southern portions of the state. We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly favoring the higher elevations as well as in the Tucson area throughout this evening. But it's also going to be the end of monsoon season soon. Friday will be the last day, and since June 15th, the Sky Harbor has picked up just over 2 inches of rain, right around our average. So I'd consider this monsoon season a success. And last year was one of the wettest years on record. So that's why we were well into the 4-inch range there. If you want to cool off, maybe see some fall colors, go to the high country. We'll start to see those yellows and orange colors early October. And then in later October, we'll see them a little further south. We'll be in the 90s tomorrow, and then actually for most of this weekend as well. Next week, we'll be flirting with the triple digits, but boy, is it so good to see those 90s again. In the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Peyton Major.
I'm Ryan Meza. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. The Coyotes have a one-of-a-kind partnership in the NHL. Find out who they're partnered with after the break.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today.
Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'm gonna kick down every single door. I'm gonna show you what you never ever seen before. So control you, I'm gonna show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Look at me now.
Fight the power.
Look at me now. Look at me now.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ryan Meza. Tonight, the Phoenix Rising FC are on the road against Sacramento Republic FC. The Rising are currently 9 points out of the playoff picture with just 4 games remaining in the regular season. The teams have met twice this season. The Rising fell to Sacramento Republic in May and played to a draw during the regular season in July. In both of those matches, the Rising were led by previous head coach Rick Shantz. Now the team is led by Juan Guerra, and the Rising are hoping for a better result.
The thing that we have to do differently that I don't think we were great in Monterey is keeping possessions for longer spells, but possession with purpose. Having the ball in order to break lines, having the ball in order to create spaces that way then we can attack, and then keeping possession that leads to goal scoring opportunities. That is what we want.
The Coyotes made history in 2014 when they signed a naming rights deal with the Gila River Indian community. It was the first time a Native American tribe was the title sponsor of a major professional sports team venue. Now, as Cronkite News reporter Adam Schwager tells us, the Coyotes are the tribe are embarking on another groundbreaking partnership.
The Coyotes recently celebrated an expanded partnership with Gila River Resorts and Casinos with the Jersey Reveal event at Wild Horse Pass. Lawson Krause, Clayton Keller, and Nick Schmaltz were on hand signing autographs while the Coyotes drumline paraded around the casino floor. Gila River Indian Community Council members were given their own personalized jerseys.
We have so many members within the Gila River Indian community who are sports fans. They're going to be so excited about this announcement. It was an honor to have our Gila River Community Council members, our Lieutenant Governor here today to be part of this celebration.
The jersey patch represents an elevation of the Gila River tribe's partnership with the Coyotes. Coyotes president Javier Gutierrez says the tribe, which had the naming rights to the Coyotes' former home in Glendale, has increased its commitment.
They understood not only the value from a business side of being our jersey patch sponsor, but our community partner. It's a community that we really want to activate.
The Coyotes will make history with the new jerseys when they wear them for their home opener on October 28th. For the first time, the name of a Native American tribe will appear on an NHL jersey during a regular season game.
It was something that was going to be first in the nation when it comes to Native American communities, and we're just truly excited.
The Coyotes plan to feature the tribe through in-arena events, including theme nights throughout the season. In Chandler, Adam Schwager, Cronkite News.
The new patch will only appear on home jerseys since casino advertisements are not legal in every state. ASU hockey is about to drop the puck on a new season. The Sun Devils announced a trio of players that will lead the team, including one name familiar to Valley hockey fans. Josh Doan, son of NHL great Shane Doan, will wear the C for the Sun Devils this year, alongside alternate captains Demetrius Kamunzi and Jacob Semick. The sophomore forward led the team in assists and was third in points last season. Doan was drafted 37th overall in last year's NHL draft, which made him the highest pick in Sun Devil hockey program history. But the humble forward leads best with his teammates by his side.
Kind of been us three the whole time, and that's how we're going to take it. It's just the three of us are a group, and that's how it'll be the whole season. And when you look at it like that, it makes it way easier and it takes pressure off for sure.
If you looked at him, just even physically between this time last year and right now, it's night and day. He was always a mature kid, but he's a big, strong young man now.
The team heads to Minnesota Duluth to face off against the Huskies on Saturday to start the season. Corona del Sol's girls volleyball team is off to a hot start this season. Reporter Liam Barrett went to Tempe to talk with two of the team's star players.
Corona del Sol is already 17-1 this season, and they're just getting started. The team is led by University of Washington commit Kirsten Barton and Long Beach State commit Ella Lomigora. The pair helps the team dominate at the net, and head coach Ben Maxfield says their presence up front gives other players on the team more opportunity.
The great thing about it too, though, is like you said, we have other options out there. So if the other team's keying on them, then that opens up the other girls.
The team's height is what helps them win games, but it's their chemistry that sets them apart. With 9 seniors on the roster, it's no surprise that the group is used to playing with each other, something Barton believes makes the team so good.
I feel really good about the chemistry that everyone has and how we're playing together. I feel like everything's coming together really well, and we're all leaning on each other for everything, so I think that contributes to the court and how we play.
The team's experience helps set an example for all players. The seasoned group is using their knowledge to keep the team on track. Lomigora is just one of the team's seniors doing exactly that.
I think I'm leading with just trying to be a role model, trying to be engaged, loud, keep everybody positive, and I feel like everyone's contributing to that.
The Aztecs aren't satisfied with the good start. They have a bigger goal in mind. And if you're wondering what that is, they'll let you know.
Always to win state.
Win state.
This is win state. We talk about it every day.
In Tempe, Liam Barrett, Cronkite News.
Corona del Sol looks to continue their run to state when they host Liberty High School tonight. That's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Maddie.
Still ahead, the State Fair is in full swing, and there's a way you can help people in need and go for free. We'll tell you about several cool promotions when we come back.
Know what I'm saying?
Try to steer the trouble.
Where's the fun in that?
You
You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work. It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
If you wanted a good excuse to go to the state fair, how about helping people in need? You can get free admission to the fair just by donating 10 cans of non-perishable food items on Fridays. The special deal is good for the whole family, so 4 people can donate 40 cans to get in free. The food items will go to benefit Operation Santa Claus and St. Mary's Food Bank. Plus, there's even more perks you can enjoy at the state fair. Any kid can receive 3 free rides for reading. They just need a parent or teacher to sign off that they read 3 books using the fair's Read and Ride report form. And there's an Armed Forces Day where veterans can get in free on October 21st.
Cronkite News Tonight, thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.